completely look at more specific terms that are selling features of this item. So rustic wood wedding sign, custom, I would leave with custom off the bat. Custom wedding sign, name.
Customer, and then the product, not a niche. So now let's talk about choosing our customer. Now, if you have a customer or if you have an idea of who you want your customer to be, let's talk about that. Do you know your customer? Most sellers do not. Most sellers on Etsy put up products and hope that someone buys them. It's a very different approach than putting up a product because it is for the specific person to buy. So your current customer, who are they? How old are they? Do you know their gender and their location? Are they from the South? Are they from the Northeast? Are they from the West Coast? Are they mostly male? Are they male men buying for women? Are they women buying for women? Are they young? Are they old? Do you know who they are? Do you have a good sense of who that is? Do they only buy things from you when things are on sale? You know this better than anyone. How does a sale impact your business? Do you notice that sales are just hugely increase your daily sales? Or do they not really just move the needle that much? They just kind of maybe bump things up a little bit, but it doesn't drastically change things for you. Do your customers only buy when things are on sale? Are they price sensitive? That's the question we're asking, really. Do they ask for discounts? Do they message you and say, okay, I see this is your price, but I'm on a budget. What's the cheapest you can do? You will get that, and you will learn that is a price-sensitive customer. We don't want that to be our customer, okay? Certain people are always trying to squeeze money out of you, okay? They're going to always ask for discounts before the purchase, during the purchase, and after the purchase. The person who asks you for a discount before the purchase is a lot more likely to ask you for some kind of a concession after the purchase. They'll find some little thing, some thread that was wrong, a little tiny, a hair or something that was on it, and they'll ask for a discount. It's the same person. We don't want that person, okay? Is your customer price sensitive? Do you notice that they are always trying to get the cheapest thing from you? Are your customers mostly buying your lowest price point items, or are they buying some of your higher price point items? If you have a whole shop with listings that range from $10 up to $200, is everyone just buying your $10 stuff? Or do you have a mix? Do you have some people buying the more expensive stuff? When the economy or the stock market flounders, do you hear crickets? Are these customers very reactionary to external things like the stock market? If you were on Etsy in 2020, you'll notice in March of 2020, everyone knows what happened to the stock market. Everyone knows what happened in the world, and sales tanked. People were scared. Some shops still did decent because their customer was not as sensitive to that external factors. They weren't scared because they had a nice cushion. Do you notice that your current customer just stops buying as soon as there's kind of some big waves in the ocean? Do they wait it out until things are better, until gas prices are cheaper, until inflation cools a little bit? Does your customer wait things out until there's more stability in the market, or do they buy no matter what? Is your current customer pleasant enough to deal with? Okay, pleasant enough. Now, there's always going to be customer service issues that you can't predict. It's impossible to know what kind of headaches a customer is going to bring to you before they buy. But sometimes you can predict those things. And have you found that your customers are a lot of headache customers? Or have you found that your customers are easy enough to please? Are you happy enough with the customer base that you are currently in? And next, do you have a broad category of customers? Are you trying to target a broad category like women? That's very, very broad. 50% of the population, right? Or are there very few of your customer, like female giraffe caretakers? Okay, I'm trying to get you to think about, do I even have enough of these type of people coming to Etsy that would even be interested? Am I looking at too narrow of a population or too broad of a population where I am just completely lost? Another question you're asking yourself is, does this person naturally turn to Etsy to shop? Do they shop on Etsy naturally? Is this a place that they regularly visit? Or is Etsy a place where they've maybe bought one thing in 5 years? Is Etsy one of their top 5 online retailers? Or is this something where they're not quite comfortable buying? We want to target people and choose customers that shop on Etsy regularly. They are warm leads, they're warm customers. You don't have to convince them that the platform, that the website is safe and right to buy on. They're already used to buying on that. Sometimes that's half the battle when you're trying to sell to people who maybe have never bought anything on Etsy. They're very nervous. They think it might be coming from China. We'll get into that later, but you want to sell to someone who is comfortable shopping on Etsy. Where else does that customer shop? Are they Walmart? Are they Amazon? Are they Lululemon? How quickly are they used to getting their items? Which kind of brings me to the next point here. Are they an Amazon person? Now, by this I mean Amazon Prime, next day shipping. Are they very demanding in their sense of urgency and how quickly they need an item? Is that your customer? Are you finding that your customer is very impatient and has high expectations on delivery timeframes? That's an important question. You probably know this if you've been open for a while on Etsy. Or is your customer a shopping in-store type of person? This person sometimes wants a very liberal return policy. Are they nervous about fit, size? They might ask you a lot of questions before. They might not be used to shopping online. That's honestly not someone that we want to go after. We want to go after a customer who shops online all the time. Does your customer browse a lot? Are they someone who looks on Etsy for 2 hours for something and then they decide to buy it? Or they sleep on it and then they decide to buy it the next day? Or maybe a week later. Not really a sense of urgency. They want to browse and they're looking for that experience of just digging and treasure hunting for just the right thing. Or Does your customer know what they want to buy before they shop and convert quickly? It's sometimes hard to tell on Etsy because you don't have the data on how often a customer has visited your shop or how many times they've looked at your page before buying. Etsy doesn't give you that information, but sometimes you can tell if someone has gone through and you notice like they favorite all your things and then like 3 months later they buy something. Or if they message you 30 times over the past 6 months and then you notice that they buy something like 6 months later. That's usually a browser. That's not someone with a huge sense of urgency where they know what they want to buy, they see it, they convert quickly, they buy it. So why is this a problem? If you are selling to a customer that is really price sensitive or who only buys when things are on sale? Well, it's a problem because you are playing the price game, and the price game never ends well. You are at the mercy of the US economy, the global economy, and the shops that are your competition. You really lose a lot of control over your business when you are playing the price game. I know this is huge in the digital download and the print on demand space, but we need to find a way around that. We cannot entertain the price game. With this game, you do not call the shots as a business owner. You are essentially being manipulated. You are being controlled by every outside factor. When this happens, when you lose control of your pricing, your brand and your reputation is diluted. You are not in control of that anymore. It creates the perception that your item is not really of the value that it was at in the beginning. If your things are always on sale, then you're telling people it's never really worth this price, it's only worth this price. And it's confusing to customers when everything is always on sale. How could they not question the quality of your items if you are marking it down? It creates the perception that no one wanted it at the higher price, so you had to mark it down in order to get sales. It also creates the perception that full price would be a total ripoff. Why would customers pay full price when they know that 90% of the time you're running a sale? Then when you don't run a sale, you're going to get no sales.